Alright guys, my name is Sinister Anderson and I'm here to show you guys the meta. And by the meta, I mean what people really be using in this game. And today I'm going to show you the healer meta. So without further ado, hit that intro. Alright guys, I'm back and I'm gonna show you guys the healer metas.
Wanna make a pit stop?
Now, I like to use the ninja swords, so either one of these is pretty good. Now, for a healer, Healing Seal 2 is the most OP you can get. Do not use anything else but Healing Seal 2. Now, for your tops and stuff, you want to use, for your pure healer, Master of Medicine. Your bottom skill you want is either In a Flash, which boosts your movement speed, or you want Robust Fighter. And your accessory skill you want is Back from the Brink. Moving on. Now here's 3 different flag builds, and I'm going to explain to you why to use these. So 8 trigrams, air palm, cellular extraction. So this is a very supportive. This is for if you guys have to move forward and take the flag. So I'm using, as you could tell, 8 trigrams air palm so I can seal away the defense or seal away the range. And sometimes even hit the person who has our flag. But you can only get this jutsu from Hinata. Now, this has a power of 1 out of 5. And the range is a 5 out of 5. And it is a very good jutsu. And it has a cooldown of 14 seconds. And once again, I'm using cellular extraction so I can heal my team. And again, I'm using Shadow Clone. Now, I'm using Vapor Style Solid Frog Jutsu, which you can only obtain from the May DLC. And that is a power of 5 out of 5 and a duration of 2 out of 5. And as you can see in the description, it is a jutsu that transforms chakra into a highly acid mist and expels it from the user's mouth, lowers the defense, and deals continuous damage. It is a very good jutsu. Now, if you do not have this jutsu, then I do recommend you 2 other jutsus. And that is Shadow Pole Jutsu, which you can only obtain from Shikamaru. And this has a power of 5 out of 5 and a duration of 2 out of 5. Now this jutsu allows the user to pull targets in with their shadow. The shadow will temporarily bind and lower the defense of any target it hits, then damage them in an explosion afterwards. Now, if you don't use that one, you could always use Uchiha Shuriken Jutsu, which you can only obtain from Sarada Uchiha. Now this has a power of 5 out of 5 and a duration of 3 out of 5. This jutsu fires out a large kunai and with explosive and healing seals on them. Enemies take damage and allies get fully restored. Now this only works if the allies are with you. Now I have, as you see, Master of Medicine, which boosts my healing ninjutsu recovery power. And my bottom skill is Armed and Dangerous, shortens ninja tool cooldown time. Now my accessory skill I have is Unbending Will, which greatly reduces ninjutsu cooldown time when your health drops below a certain point. That is crucial. Moving on. Now I have another flag build, which can also be used as a barrier defending build or a base build. And this one is 8 trigrams air palm. Once again, Now, I'm using Water Style Water Pillar Jutsu. Now, you can only obtain this from the My DLC. And this is a power of 2 out of 5, range 1 out of 5, and a 15-second cooldown. Now, this creates a column surrounded. It's pretty much a sand shield, guys. I'm not gonna really get details into it. I'm just gonna tell you, it's pretty much a sand shield, just more OP. Now, it can be countered by things like Crimson Drizzle, Heavenly Foot of Pain, all the new Naruto stuff, which is Twin Impact, Rampage, Raging Rampage, something like that, and also can be pulled by the new Sasuke, or the Sasuke DLC, which is the Infernal Style Flame Lightning, and yeah. But other than that, it's a very good jutsu. Now I'm using Shadow Clone, and once again I'm using Feather Illusion Jutsu that you can only obtain from Kabuto. Now I'm using First Blood, which boosts my secret technique charge time. And then I have Rebust Fighter. Now that is very good to use. But now I'm using Shinobi Boost. But I'm going to show you a better outfit to use. Alright. So, best thing you want to do is go boost your... You want First Blood. This is a very good one. I know it's ugly, guys. But this is a very good example. Armed and Dangerous shortens Ninja Tool cooldown time. Now, this is very good for when you have to, you know, throw a heal tag. Because then you'll get your heal tags faster. And once again, I'm using Back from the Brink, so I can easily get to my targets. And now moving on, here is a flag running build for a healer. Now, it's going to show that all healers should have Healing Seal too. Now, I'm using Nervous System Rupture, which you can only obtain from the Tsunade DLC. And this has a power of 2 out of 5, a range of 2 out of 5, and is a 13-second cooldown. Now, if you do not have that, you can also use Chakra Scalpel, which is a technique that you can only get from Kabuto, which it has a power of 1 out of 5, a range of 2 out of 5, and a 12-second cooldown. Now, the second jutsu is Oniki's, which is a DLC. And this boosts the user's and allies' movement speed and jump power and shortens our substitution in ninjutsu and charges our secret cooldown. So it is a 20-second cooldown, and it is a 2 out of 5 on range and a 0 out of 5 power. Now, if you do not have this jutsu, I'll be 100 with you. If you do not have this jutsu, I really can tell you that Chakra Scalpel and Nervous System Rupture. That's the only way you're going to run the flag. And of course, as you see, I'm using Slug Long Distance Healing, which you can only obtain from Tsunade. And of course, as you see, I'm using First Blood, boosts your secret technique so I can get heals. And I'm using Boost Movement Speed so I can move faster. And again, I'm using Unbending Will. So those three are very good for flag. Moving on to base. So I'm going to show you more of the best base builds. Okay? So, here are base builds. Cellular Extraction and Crimson Drizzle. Which Crimson Drizzle you can only obtain from Sarda. And this is a 8-second cooldown, 2 out of 5 power, and a range of 1 out of 5. But it disables the enemy's substitution, and it raises our attack power. And of course, cellular extraction, which you can only obtain from Sakura. And again, I have Clay Clone. Now, Clay Clone for base is a very good clone. It is a 30-second clone, but it deals damage to the enemy by exploding. Now, you can only get this clone from Datara. And of course, I'm using Slug Long Distance Healing. Now, once again, if you do not have Tsunade, you can always go Uchiha Shuriken Spring Jutsu, which you can get from Sarada Uchiha. And this is a power of 5 out of 5 and a duration of 3 out of 5. And as you see, I'm using Master of Medicine, Short Ninja Tool cooldown time, and Unbending Will. Moving on to this. Now this, I'm using a whole Sakura setup. So I'm using Cherry Blossom Clash, which you can only get from Sakura, as I just said. But this boosts the ninjutsu recovery. So that means I get my jutsus faster. And on top of that, this lowers the enemy's attack power with a power of 3 out of 5 and a range of 1 out of 5. 12-second cooldown. Very good thing. Now, I'm using Cellular Extraction, which again you can get from Sakura. And I'm using Clay Clone. And again, I'm using Slug Long Distance Healing. But once again, if you do not have Slug Long Distance Healing, you can always use Uchiha Spring Jutsu. Or Shadow Pull, which you can only obtain from Shikamaru. Now, I'm using the top skill of Tenacity Rising, which boosts your ninjutsu's ability to cancel out other things upon contact, such as enemy ninjutsu and ninja tools. Now, I'm using Clear Mind, but I'm gonna Shinobi boost that because the best thing you want to use is Ninja Tool, which is called Armed and Dangerous. And now, that's so I can get my heal tag faster. And once again, I'm using Unbending Will. Moving on. Now, the last build I have in thing is called the One Shot. Now, this is good for base. And this is also good for 1v1s. So again, I'm using Cherry Blossom Clash. And I'm using Shadow Stitching that you can only obtain from Shikamaru. Now this is a range of 2 out of 5, a power of 1 out of 5, and a 13-second cooldown. Now this jutsu turns the shadow into multiple piercing needles that spread out in an arc from user. They damage and lower the defense of any target that they hit. It is a very good jutsu. Now if you hit them with that, and you hit them with the cherry, that is a one-shot. And of course, I'm using Clay Clone. And now I'm using Gentle Step Lion Fist that you can only obtain from Hinata. And that has a power of 4 out of 5 and a duration of 4 out of 5. And this technique coats the user's arms in a shaped chakra, which it also does damage and resets the secret technique charge of the enemy. And with this build, I'm using Power in Spades, which boosts your ninjutsu damage, does not apply to status ailment. And I'm using Rebust Fighter, which boosts my max health. And again, I'm using my accessory skill as 1 in a million, which shortens ninjutsu cooldown time when an enemy is knocked out. Now that is very good to use, but I also like to use Skin of Your Teeth, which is the new Kurama accessory from Naruto DLC. Now, if you do not have that, you can always use Battle Harden, which instantly refills a set amount of health of after you defeat an enemy. And that being said, guys, that's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you guys did, please hit the like button and make sure you sub and make sure that you share the video and just show people that, you know, there's some stuff out here that can help you guys better yourselves. Alright? Please leave a comment in the comment box if you liked the video, and I'll be back next week for the range.